Hey zombie maniacs, if you thought the MCU had gone wild before, wait till you see this. The Marvel Zombies series turned our favorite heroes into absolute nightmares.
That is a zombie.
But here's the question nobody's agreed on: who's the unstoppable alpha of the undead? Today we're counting down the 10 strongest zombies from the series, the ones who bite first and break everything after. Stay tuned, because the number 1 pick will straight up ruin your favorite hero's day. Starting off our list at number 10, we've got Zombie Hawkeye and Captain America, the deadliest tag team you never want to meet in a dark alley. Even after turning into a zombie, Hawkeye didn't lose his edge. His aim, his instincts, his hunter's patience, all still sharp as ever. He wasn't just another mindless corpse, he was a predator hiding in the shadows. That's exactly why Riri, Kamala, and Kate couldn't even move freely through the city. Hawkeye was out there, silently stalking, waiting for that one perfect shot. And then there's Captain America, or what's left of him. Yeah, he's literally half the man he used to be, but don't let that fool you. Even without his lower body, Cap managed to overpower Red Guardian. He was smart enough to crawl through air vents, strategic enough to flank his enemies, and still had the reflexes to block and counter with his iconic shield. If this man had both legs, he'd probably be sitting way higher on this list, no doubt about it. At number 9, we've got a nightmare duo, Zombie Hank Pym and the Wasp, because when the tiniest threat becomes undead, you're basically doomed from every angle. Even after turning into zombies, these two still had full control over their Pym particle powers. They could shrink down to mosquito size to dodge attacks and then boom, grow into towering monsters to take on the Infinity Hulk himself. And here's the crazy part, they were actually the reason the first wave of Avengers fell. Wasp shrunk down to the size of a bug and bit Captain America before anyone even realized what was happening. One bite, and the infection spread like wildfire. The team got caught completely off guard and surrounded, and just like that, Earth's mightiest heroes became Earth's hungriest zombies. If their mission was to infect everyone, they could have wiped out half the roster before anyone saw it coming. I mean seriously, who's watching out for a zombie mosquito? In the comics, Hank and Wasp were absolute horrors because of this size-changing power. But in the series, their bodies were rotting fast, their durability dropped, and it's unclear if they were still conscious enough to use Pym tech on other objects like in the movies. That's why they sit lower on this list, because even though they could go big, they couldn't stay strong. Coming in at number 8, we've got Zombie Ghost, and trust me, the last thing you ever want in an apocalypse is an invisible zombie that can walk through walls. Ghost served as one of the commanders under Okoye in the Red Queen's army, and she was a problem. She phased straight through solid walls, went invisible at will, and could have ended most of the squad before they even knew she was there. In fact, she wiped out an entire squad of fully armed Black Widows in seconds. If Blade hadn't shown up, she probably would have taken out everyone else too. But here's the catch, for someone who could literally sneak through walls, Ghost was dumb as a brick. After turning undead, she completely lost her tactical edge. Instead of using stealth or strategy, she just charged headfirst at anything that moved. Pure hunger, zero brain cells. But just imagine if Ghost had actually kept her mind and instincts from the movies. If she'd played it smart, stayed invisible, and picked off heroes one by one, she could have wiped out half the survivors before Blade even blinked. That's why she sits here at number 8, insanely powerful, but too far gone to use it. At number 7, we've got Zombie Okoye, the general of the undead army and one of the few zombies who actually knew what she was doing. She wasn't just a mindless eater, she was a leader. Okoye commanded over 100,000 zombies, and not just any horde. Her army included some heavy hitters like Zombie Hawkeye, Captain America, and even the Abomination. What makes her terrifying is that she actually retained her consciousness. In a world full of chaos, Okoye was organized chaos. She even went head-to-head with Valkyrie, and not once did she truly lose. Equal footing with a literal Asgardian? Yeah, that earns her a serious spot on this list. And the craziest part? She's probably not done. With Marvel Zombies Season 2 already confirmed, we might just see Okoye return stronger, smarter, and maybe even leading a whole new army of evolved undead. Oh, and by the way, I'm working on a full breakdown of everything you missed in the Marvel Zombies series, including who infected Captain Marvel and Ikaris and why Scarlet Witch wanted Kamala Khan so badly. So if you're into that kind of dark Marvel deep dive, make sure to hit that subscribe button before we move on. At number 6, we've got Zombie Abomination, and let's be honest, this is probably the closest we'll ever get to seeing a zombie Hulk, and that's terrifying enough. Abomination was an absolute tank, bullets did nothing, explosives barely slowed him down, and he was the main reason the zombie horde broke into the North Institute. This guy could fight the Hulk toe-to-toe back when he was alive, and even after turning undead, he kept every ounce of that strength and durability. The man was practically indestructible. If he'd ever crossed paths with the surviving heroes, there were only two people who might have stopped him, Thor and Hulk. Everyone else? Total roadkill. The crazy part? Abomination didn't even have his mind. Just like Ghost, he was being puppeteered by Scarlet Witch, turned into a mindless weapon of destruction. And in the end, that's what got him killed. When he finally went berserk and charged head-on into the Infinity Hulk, he got obliterated. Cracking into the top 5, we've got Zombie Namor, the Submariner himself. Now this one caught everyone off guard, because if there's one place you'd think was safe during a zombie apocalypse, it's underwater. But guess what? Baron Zemo thought the same, and he was dead wrong. The ruler of the seas was already infected. Namor might not be as powerful in the MCU as he is in the comics, but let's be real, even this version is a monster. His strength easily rivals Abomination, maybe even surpasses it. He can fly, he's lightning fast underwater, and the ocean itself is his domain. If Namor's hunting you, there's literally nowhere to hide, not on land, not in the air, and definitely not in the sea. And it gets worse, Namor had an entire army of zombie Atlanteans at his command. Imagine thousands of undead warriors swimming beneath the waves, waiting for his signal. Absolute nightmare fuel. But like many of the heavy hitters on this list, Namor had one fatal flaw: he lost his consciousness. He wasn't a king anymore, he was a sleeping beast that only woke up when he was hungry. That made it easy for Scarlet Witch to control him, turning the once proud ruler of the ocean into just another weapon in her undead arsenal. So yeah, even underwater, there's no escape. At number 4, we've got Zombie Captain Marvel, and honestly, this one's pure nightmare fuel. Carol Danvers is already one of the most powerful beings in the MCU. She can travel through the vacuum of space, tear through ships like they're paper, and unleash energy blasts strong enough to level entire cities. Now imagine that power, in a zombie body that doesn't feel pain, fear, or limits. After turning undead, Captain Marvel wasn't just another infected hero, she was a full-blown cosmic disaster. If Ikaris hadn't stepped in to keep her busy, she could have easily escaped Earth's orbit and spread the zombie virus across the galaxy. And let's be honest, the Nova Corps wouldn't have stood a chance. We don't know for sure if she still had her consciousness, but it almost doesn't matter. The sheer power she had was enough to make her a universal threat. Without Ikaris holding her down, Zombie Captain Marvel could have gone toe-to-toe with Thanos and Scarlet Witch, maybe even wiped out entire planets on her own. If there's ever a cosmic apocalypse, you'd better pray she's not hungry. At number 3, we've got Zombie Thor, the undead god of thunder himself. And man, this was the one fans had been waiting to see. Thor didn't retain his consciousness after turning, and that's exactly why Scarlet Witch was able to control him. But even as a puppet, he was an unstoppable storm. The moment he appeared, he made his power crystal clear, instantly killing Landon Master and Sarah like they were nothing, and completely vaporizing Blade, who, by the way, was powered by the moon god Khonshu. Then, he went head-to-head with Infinity Hulk, the strongest being in the entire series. Yeah, Hulk eventually won, but let's be real, that was only because he had the unstable power of the Infinity Stones on his side. Even in defeat, this version of Thor was the most powerful we've ever seen, live action or animated. It's almost tragic, though, because if Thor hadn't lost his will to fight after being beaten by Thanos, and if he'd joined the heroes earlier, half of those deaths might never have happened. Zombie Thor wasn't just terrifying, he was a reminder of how powerful Hope could have been, if it hadn't died first. Coming in at number 2, the Mad Titan himself, Zombie Thanos. Yeah, it's no surprise he made the list, but what is surprising is that he's not number 1. Because this version of Thanos was beyond terrifying. Even after turning into a zombie, he still had 5 Infinity Stones in his gauntlet, and unlike most of the undead, he actually retained his consciousness. That means he still understood power, strategy, and control, at least, partially. The only problem? His decaying body couldn't keep up. Thanos was struggling to harness his newly acquired powers, unstable, unpredictable, and still learning. That's the only reason Black Panther managed to stop him. But make no mistake, he was evolving fast. Every second, he was adapting, mastering the stones, and if he'd had just a little more time, the universe would have been done for. In fact, it's terrifying to imagine what he could have become. A conscious, decayed Thanos with full infinity power could have ripped open the fabric of reality itself, spreading the zombie virus not just across the universe, but the entire multiverse. And finally, at number 1, the Queen of Chaos herself. Zombie Scarlet Witch. Even before the infection, Wanda Maximoff was one of the most powerful beings in the entire Marvel Universe. Her chaos magic can bend reality, erase existence, and twist the minds of gods. She mastered the forbidden spells of the Darkhold, and even the Sorcerer Supreme couldn't stop her. But after becoming a zombie, she became something far worse. Scarlet Witch didn't lose control like the others, she retained it. While most zombies were mindless beasts, Wanda was fully aware, capable of thinking, planning, and manipulating everyone around her, both physically and emotionally. She wasn't just another zombie, she was a devil wearing a familiar face. Okoye might have led the zombie army, but Wanda was the one who controlled it. Every move, every attack, every puppet, all part of her grand design. She had the power to shatter worlds, and yet the only thing that stopped her was the Infinity Hulk. Without him, Wanda would have consumed the entire Earth and maybe even gone beyond it. We still don't know what her ultimate plan was, but one thing's for sure, Zombie Scarlet Witch is the most powerful undead being we've ever seen in the Marvel Universe. And if she ever returns in Marvel Zombies Season 2, it won't be the heroes who are hunting, it'll be her. Now, there are still so many questions after watching Marvel Zombies. Why was Wanda the only one who fully retained her consciousness? Why didn't she recruit Captain Marvel, especially when she was planning to go up against the Infinity Hulk? I mean, Carol's power level is right up there with Thor, she could have been a massive help. And then there's Namor and Captain Marvel, how exactly did they get infected in the first place? And why was Ikari's fighting Captain Marvel for that long, even though he wasn't infected himself? I know these are the same questions running through your head, and don't worry, I'm already working on a full breakdown video that'll explain every hidden detail and unanswered mystery in Marvel Zombies. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And while you wait, check out some of my previous videos, I promise, they'll keep you entertained till the next one drops. See you guys in the next video.